Everyone, and welcome back to another 3D printing video involving me and my Ender 3 right here. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a really long time. I've been sick for the past few weeks. Really got into school lately and been on the hunt for a job. So today in this video I'm going to go over installing Klipper on the Ender 3. I'm going to respond to some comments in the past video regarding Klipper in the video and with the configuration. So let's get right into it. There are plenty of videos out there on YouTube that really explain it really well how to go about doing this. I'm not going to go into that. However, I will go into how to install Klipper. So let's get started right away. So first things first, we want to prep an OS image here. We want to log in via an SSH client like PuTTY. I'll link PuTTY in the description. I've already logged in. Your password to the Pi is going to be Pi, obviously, and then your password if you changed it. This will show what version of OctoPrint we're running. So I'm running the OctoPi version 15.1. Obviously we need 14.0 or later. So I already did some of this steps, so I can kind of just walk through and explain this if there's any questions. So first you're going to enter these commands line by line, and it's pretty foolproof. If you copy them both at once, it's only going to paste the first line anyways. So both of these commands take quite a while to install. This one just clones the repository. This one will install it. The installation takes a very long time. So yeah, as you can tell, it takes a long time. So after that, you're going to change the directory into Klipper and do the configuration. So let's do that right now. So actually, I'm just going to copy and paste it. That makes it a lot easier. So let's do that. Copy, paste. So I'm already in the Klipper directory, obviously, just for redundancy reasons, so you guys can follow along. So we're going to run our configuration right now. Hopefully this will load quick. Alright, so when I booted this up for the first time, a few of the things were different. So you're going to make sure you have this architecture right here, 18 mega AVR. Again, I'm using the Ender 3, so the processor model in mine is 18 mega 1284p. The speed on that is 16 megahertz. And yeah, now you can also find this in the config files for your printer. So, okay, let's just go to Klipper. So if you go to Klipper repository, you just click on config, and then look at this. There's a bunch of configurations for boards, whether you have a Rambo or Ramps, smoothie board, or even printers too. So for instance, I'm using Ender 3. I just clicked on that, and it'll show you the settings you need to do. So 18 mega 1284p, 60 megahertz, baud rate, leave it at 25,000. Yeah, and obviously you see that at frequently asked questions before changing. From what I've seen, if you're having communications problems, you're going to want to lower that. But in this case, let's just, I've already saved this, so I'm just going to exit. But in your case, you're going to save this configuration and exit. So I'm just going to exit. Okay, so then after that, you're going to run the command make, and it's pretty much going to flash the device, and it's just going to, I'm sorry, it's not going to flash. It's going to pretty much build the configuration that you selected, and it's going to work. So this is, I ran that up here, build the Klipper configuration file, it worked. So yeah, I've been working on how to flashing the code. So first off, you're going to stop the Klipper service. So it's going to stop. And another thing is make sure your printer is disconnected from OctoPrint, so this will work. So what I tried doing before was doing this while it was connected. However, you have to disconnect this in order for it to work. So stop this, and then you're going to want to flash it through the serial port. So in my case, as you can tell, it says ACM0. The most common communication device is this. That's not mine in my case. So what you can actually do is, you can see the FAQ, so let's just click on this quick. Run, yes, run this command right here if you're unsure of your serial port. So I ran that, and I found it's USB 0. So instead of ACM 0, it's actually USB 0. So just helpful little tip there. So I'm going to want to change that out to USB 0. USB 0. Okay, let's enter. It's flashing, and it seems like it's working this time. So as you can tell, before it failed a few times before I started recording this, but yeah, okay, so that worked. And now that we know that worked, let's start running Klipper. Alright, so Klipper is up and running. So now we got to configure OctoPrint to use Klipper. So it needs to be configured to communicate with Klipper host software using a web browser. Log into OctoPrint, navigate to the settings tab, under the serial connection and additional ports, add TMP printer. So I'm just going to open this up in two windows here so we can kind of see what's going on. Alright, so under serial connection, so we're going to want to go to navigate to the settings tab, serial connection, additional serial ports, add /TMP/printer, and then click save. Okay, so I'm going to save that. And then under, again, we just did that, I'm sorry, from under the settings tab, and change the serial port to TMP printer. Something that I just missed there. So serial connection, I'm sorry, under the settings tab, I'm kind of lost right here. I'm going to pause this. Alright, so I actually just figured out my mishap. All you got to do is follow the directions. I'm pretty quick to jump to conclusions here and kind of messed up. So again, like I said, you're going to want to type this in your additional serial port. You're going to want to go to save that, and you're going to want to go to behavior and click on cancel any ongoing prints but stay connected to the printer. If you do not change this, you will not be able to connect via the new serial connection you created. So after that, click save. Now you want to go up here, select the serial port, and then click connect, and it should connect. So once connected, go to the terminal tab, just like it says. Type status, and it looks like it's going to be up and running. Status. Okay, unable to open config file. Alright, that's okay though, because we still have to create a config file, so that's alright. So yep, it'll likely report there's an error. That means OctoPrint is successfully communicating with Klipper, so that's good. We want to get a failed message here, and that means we have to go back to our Raspberry Pi and upload our config file. So alternatively, one can also copy and edit the file directly on the Raspberry Pi via SSH. That's what we are going to do. It's just going to be easier to copy it and type it in. So copy, paste, and what I'm doing here is using this for an Ender 3. So for instance, I'm going to go down to Creality Ender 3. So I'm going to type in printer. Oops, sorry, did not change. Okay, go back to putty here. printer dash Creality. Creality. Well, no dash, not underscore. Ender 3 dash 2018 .cfg. Okay, we're going to want to run that. Click enter, and then we do nano. So right now that copies over because those example config files are actually installed along with Klipper. So we're going to overwrite that with printer, and alright, here we are. So this contains the most common pin mappings for the Creality Ender 3. I'm not going to edit this within the SSH because that's just a little bit too non-user friendly in my opinion. So this is pretty much all your basic settings in here. There's a few things I would change, but we'll change that within OctoPrint because it's a lot better user interface. So let's exit out of here. Oops. Hang on. So yeah, that's what it'll look like. So are we going to want to save this? No, yes. I'm just going to do no because it doesn't matter. So here we are. We're done here. So let's go back in OctoPrint and keep it moving. So as I don't know if I showed this. I made a few videos and the audio wasn't coming through for some reason, but there's actually a plugin for a Klipper in OctoPrint. So let's just go to Get More, type in Klipper, OctoClipper. This makes it really easy to set up. So let's just do that quick. So we can close this out here. This is all installed. And again, I will link PuTTY in the description. Okay, so it's done. So we want to restart OctoPrint. Yep. Alright, so I loaded it up and I was getting an error in the terminal that I couldn't find the config file. However, I just used the restart command and was ready to go. Alright, so we're back here within the OctoPrint web interface with Klipper all ready to go. If you had the problem, all you have to do is restart it and it should be ready. So let's just enter in this status command one more time just to check that out. So yeah, status Klipper state ready. So through the plugin through OctoPrint, you can restart the host controller, you can restart the Klipper firmware. There's assisted bed leveling if that's your thing. You can emergency stop macros, PID tuning, offsets, performance graphs, anything you kind of want to mess with Klipper, it's there for you. Even the config file, this is why I said earlier that the SSH wasn't particularly user-friendly with upgrading that. All you can do is add in your settings in here. So for instance, if you want to add in your pressure advance settings for Klipper, you can do that right in here, along with your pressure advance look ahead, your square cornering velocity, those settings as well. And you can also lower the max acceleration, max velocity, that kind of thing, and change the pinouts if you have a custom bed leveling sensor. So in my case, I do not. But one thing I would like to point out with Klipper and the Ender 3 in general is a few questions I have been receiving regarding what's the best settings, share your config, we want to know what you've been struggling with. Well, one thing's for sure I just want to share is that the printers, especially like the Ender 3, ship with not the greatest quality control. A lot of dimensions and a lot of parameters are different intra-brand between these printers. So my pressure advance setting that works for me may not work for you. That's more or less why I haven't really shared my settings. It's just really simple, you know. All I've really tried doing has been lowering the acceleration. Obviously this has been a clean install, so none of my settings are here at this point. But all I've really tried doing would be lowering the acceleration to maybe like in the upper thousands, so like 1700, 1800, to try to get that pressure advance parameter to work. So that was a thing I was really having trouble with Klipper, was trying to get that pressure advance setting to work. But if that works for you, please let me know. But I hope hopefully this video provided clear instruction on what you can expect from installing Klipper on your Ender 3. This is by no means a video by me trying to tell you what settings you should have, but this is more of a guide on how to set it up within OctoPrint. So I hope this video provided a clear explanation for you, and good luck 3D printing.